Hello, good morning and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is all about following the road that goes to the left here, the 323, Highway 323. I'm going to be making a series of videos as we're following this road because it goes all the way up from Kanchanaburi town, which is where I am at the moment, just to the north. And this road heads all the way up to the Burmese border at a place called Three Pagodas Pass. And as I said, I'm going to be making quite a few videos, including this one, because Kanchanaburi province is really quite big. For example, it's some 223 kilometers from here to the border. And then obviously there's another bit of the province the other side of Kanchanaburi town. So anyway, in this video, we're going to be exploring what there is to see in the first section of this 323 road, and that includes an old Khmer temple and archaeological museum. There's also a very famous waterfall and the town of Sai Yok, as we follow the Burmese railway, the Death Railway as well. So there's also places to see that are related to that. So anyway, without further ado, let's get on the bike and explore what there is to see. So first up on our 323 highway tour is to this historical park. We're just off the 323, just to the south of it. And this park features two Khmer temples that date back to the 13th to 14th century. However, the whole site was a small town that they believe flourished between the 8th and 9th century and the 12th century. And this is probably the most western Khmer site in Thailand. So we're going to take a look around. There's one main Prasat, they're called, which is the temple right in the middle here. But the whole complex is surrounded by walls and moats, so we'll take a look at those as well. There's an exhibition hall here which we'll take a look around. So they have a huge model here of the site. So where I'm pointing right now, that was the main entrance. And then the main Prasat, monument number 1, is in the middle there. And we're just to the right of there. And then we got the river. So this museum houses all archaeological evidence and artifacts from prehistoric eras, such as stone tools and jewellery and axe heads, that kind of thing, that were discovered in this local area. And it all came to be due to quite an improbable act, because some of the first tools were discovered by a Dutch POW who was working on the Death Railway near here, and he discovered some tools which I'll show you now, which are on display in the museum here, and he tried to keep them to himself, because if the Japanese found that he had these stone tools, they would obviously confiscate them. So he managed to do that, and the first part of the museum that you enter is a small film that goes on for about 10-15 minutes with how he discovered these tools. And then that really kick-started archaeology in Thailand. And then since then they found a whole load of prehistoric sites in and around this area, as well as other places in Kanchanaburi province. And what they found is on display in this museum. Okay, so this is Tham Krasae, or Say, not too sure how you pronounce it. But this is the little halt station on the western side of the trestle bridge. So this is the western end of the Tham Krasae wooden bridge, the trestle bridge, the famous trestle bridge. So it's another landmark along the Death Railway. And what I'll do is I'll tell you about its history as we're walking along. This bridge was built as the railway met with a massive cliff, and so it was decided to build a 400-metre long wooden trestle bridge which would follow the cliff along the Khwae Noi River. Construction began in March 1943 with 700 British, 600 Australian and 450 Dutch POWs, along with 100 Thai forced labourers, being assigned here and placed in 3 work camps. During the first blast with dynamite, part of the cliff collapsed, killing many prisoners. The sheer drop also resulted in many falling to their death. During the wet season, the ground became soggy, causing instability and collapse. However, despite all of this, the bridge was completed in just 17 days. Since its construction, it has been extensively strengthened and repaired, which means you can walk along it as long as you're extremely careful and look out for passing trains. So at this end of the bridge we have this little cave. Okay, so we've made it to the waterfall here at Sai Yok, which is just up there. Not a lot of water coming out of it, as it is the dry season. It is mid-March. It's very pretty here. Yeah, not much water at all. Still very, very pretty. And this is free. There's quite a lot of waterfalls in this area of Kanchanaburi in national parks where you have to pay. So here they've got this steam loco. I'll put some details up on the screen of where it was built and when. Okay, so just before we get to Hellfire Pass, we have this park that's actually dedicated to an Australian doctor, and his nickname was called Weary because his surname is called Dunlop. And they've got an old steam loco here, and we'll take a look around. It's just down here. This park is dedicated to the Australian surgeon Colonel Sir Ernest Edward Weary Dunlop, who was renowned for his leadership while being held prisoner by the Japanese during World War II. His nickname was in reference to his surname, tired like a Dunlop tyre. Whilst here, his dedication and heroism became a legend amongst prisoners. A courageous leader and compassionate doctor, he restored morale in the terrible prison camps and jungle hospitals. Dunlop defied his captors, gave hope to the sick and eased the anguish of the dying, as well as keeping up the morale of others. His example was one of the reasons why Australian survival rates were the highest. After the war, he devoted himself to the health and welfare of former prisoners of war and their families, and also worked to promote better relations between Australia and Asia. He died in 1993 back in Australia, aged 85. Right, so this is the interpretive centre for the Hellfire Pass. I'll just show you a little map of what there is to see here. There's quite a bit to see. There's also things to see inside the centre, and then it's quite a drop down to the pass itself, and then you can walk along quite a way, visiting all the sites that are listed on the map.
Nothing major to me ever intimidated me because it made me that much more determined. The only thing I ever feared, I ever got out of prison camp, the only was the
Okay, so we're just about to go down to the rail bed and the Hellfire Pass itself. There's an interactive headset which you can wear as well, but I'm not going to be doing that because I'll be too busy filming. So this is the path going down. There's quite a lot of steps, but they do have electric buggy. So I'm told from my dad actually, who's been here before. And they'll take you down. That's where the start of the trail is, down there. So we're now down onto the rail bed. And this is the start of the trail. Go right along here.